I did that.
There we go.
There it is.
Well done.
That helps.
That's why we pay him the big bucks.
Exactly.
Wait, what?
Huh?
Where are these big bucks? Are they just large dollar bills that are getting printed out?
Yes, they're running on the printer in the background as we speak.
Awesome. Send me some too.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We'll do this podcast thing. Thank you for joining us on a Thursday night, and welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the great Pacific Northwest. We'll talk about caches and cachers unique to this little corner of the country. So, try to count the number of the cities in the Tri-Cities. It's time to go caching in the Northwest.
Oh, yes, yes. And that means it's also time to bring in our high-temperature monkey. Some say the Great One calls him for advice, and others say that his sweat sells for $1,000 an ounce in the Congo. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Well, I can't actually say whether those facts are correct or not. I haven't recently checked on the per ounce price in the Congo, so that might be good news. That might be good news. All right. Anyways, yes, it's me, and it's Wits End, and it's the Bad Cop, and it's our special guest who we're going to introduce in just a moment. But you know, folks, we want to thank you all, everybody else who's out there in the Q&A and watching live and even listening recorded. Thank you for joining us tonight on Caching in the Northwest. And hey, guys, tonight we are going to give you the inside scoop on yet another upcoming fantastic event that you should be planning to be at this summer. That is the Tri-Cities Geocoin Challenge. And our guest tonight is here to tell us all about that fantastic event. That is Jen Davis. And Jen, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
We are glad you're here, and I'm really excited to hear all about the event. I know it was a great big deal last year. But before we get into that, so before we get going, why, let's start glowing.
All right. Well, again, as always, we call this segment GLOW, or Geocaching Log of the Week. So I guess technically that would be glotto, but we're just going to ignore that T. All right. So, hey, guys, whether it is your geocaching log or not, we want to hear about it. Send us an email to feedback@cachingandw.com. Call it in to 253-693-TFTC, or use the voicemail tool on the website and show us how you glow. All right, and this week's glow comes from Chihuahua Jill. You know, it's not that hard to say, but it's really hard to read, that name. All right, and Chihuahua Jill writes, "Hi, I've attached a log I wrote for Bald Man Goes to Space, GC4R5FN. This is one of my very best logs because I tend to not be particularly verbose, and I usually have trouble thinking of something good to say. I usually cache alone, and most times nothing of note happens along the way. I hope you will use this log on an upcoming Glow segment." Well, Jill, Chihuahua Jill, we are indeed using this log on an upcoming Glow segment. In fact, this very Glow segment. All right. So, without any more
Ado,
Phil, Land Monkey blabbering, here is the log from Jill. She writes, "Last cache of the day with Rue. We had to get this one because I had heard the container was cute, and we were not disappointed. It was dark, and we were freezing by the time we walked over and found it. I dropped the lid. I had to dig out my tweezers and then stick my face in a tumbleweed to get the lid. Rue was yelling at me to hurry because she was cold, but we finally overcame it all to sign the log. We laughed all the way to the truck. TFTC and the fun adventure."
All right. Well, thanks to Chihuahua Jill for contributing the glow for this week. Always fun to hear about other people's logs and other people's adventures. But, you know, in order to write found logs on caches, well, you have to go out and actually geocache, right? So that counts me out. No, it doesn't.
Not this
But
week.
let's talk about the past week in geocaching. Has you guys had a decent week? Have you been out geocaching or just general recreating outdoors-ish?
Well, on Saturday, it was National Get Outdoors Day, and for me, it was National Get Out of the House Day because my daughter was having a bridal shower here, and no men were allowed. So I was kicked out of my very own home. So I decided to drive a few miles south and go to a National Get Outdoors Day at one of the state parks, which they opened up for completely freezies.
Nice.
Now, I have the state park pass, so I can go into the state park anytime I want. But it's kind of nice that they opened it up. There were Boy Scouts. There was a large area with a bunch of tents and a bunch of different vendors there. It was a nice little get up. The WSGA had a tent, and they were able to put out 5 lab caches. So
Wow.
I went and found some lab caches, went and found some physical caches, and then I decided, well, I'm going to stop by and see Wits End on my way home.
Yeah.
And we're sitting on the sofa, and he goes, "You want to go find a cache?"
It was a cache that we had talked about previously, and I thought, hey, I never took you out to see that cache, did I? So off we went, and we found tools, and I think we've discussed tools before. It's a fun little cache. If we've not, much my fault, but if you're in the area, go check out tools. It's GC67QZN. And I think you'll really enjoy that one. There's a little twist to it, and I'll just leave it at that. If you get out there, you'll enjoy it. So we had
Wow.
that, and I think we found one other one in the park nearby too. So.
I was going to say, if anybody ever wants to see some tools, they can tune into the video feed of this podcast, and every Thursday night they can see 3 tools.
Yeah.
Land Monkey won't be joining us next week. What about you, Land Monkey? Did you get out and go caching on your last podcast ever?
We've been pretty busy with grad activities. We missed last week's podcast. We had some stuff going on at the high school. It was a lot of fun. But we have squeezed in a little bit of geocaching as well. Most recently, we spent a day in Point Roberts and Richmond, British Columbia, with Donners. Found a puzzle, a couple of multis, including a 5-5 multi, which was was a lot of fun. We had actually been working on that one for a couple of visits, and we finished it off on this last visit, which was
Is that the Point Roberts multi?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Tour de Point, it's called. Yeah.
There weren't just 5 points in the multi, because that would have been.
I think there's like 12 waypoints in this one, and they all take you to really interesting spots in Point Roberts, so it's kind of neat. And the previous weekend to that, we were at a birthday/cache series launch party put on by Lazy Bones, a local geocacher up here, who makes incredibly creative camoed geocaches, I have to say. And Mrs. Land Monkey was able to get the FTF on the amazing hide that is the final of the series. So that was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Yeah. How about you, Jen? How's your last few weeks of outdoors been?
Busy. My daughter just graduated from high school, so I spent several days down in California.
Congrats.
So yeah, geocaching, not a whole lot of geocaching lately. Does making containers for the event count?
That is
Yes.
very geocaching related, yes.
Exactly.
And everybody appreciates you doing that.
Yes.
Yes. Close to being done.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
Well, good. Thanks for that. Now, we do have feedback. We get feedback from time to time. This time we got an email from the Wooden Radio. And he talked, last week we talked to what was good swag. And so he gave us a good example of bad swag. He said, I once found a brand new, unopened Ninja throwing star, deadly sharp, in a cache. So, of course, I removed it, not trading up. I even left a note saying I removed an unapproved bit of swag.
Wow.
So, thanks, Mike, the Wooden Radio. That's always good. It's a good thing to follow is, remove it if you find it and it's not appropriate. Everything in the cache should be family friendly.
Yes, absolutely.
What if you're a family of ninja?
Then how do you know if you've ever found the cache? You're not going to
I don't
sign the log.
Yeah. I've never seen any ninja at my door on Halloween. Good job, ninja.
Well played, Ninja.
That's right. In other news, we have a note here, a story from the Ashcroft Cache Creek Journal. Had to slow down to say that one correctly.
That's up in Gold Country.
Hey, we like Gold Country. I got to get to Gold Country someday. The title of the story says, Munsies are on the way to Cache Creek. It says, however, there's no reason to be worried. While they sound like a previously unknown type of insect, Munsies are actually part of a free scavenger hunt game that is starting to take the world by storm. And Terry Hadwin, guest on Caching in the Northwest, and Chief Operating Officer of the Gold Country Community Society, wants to make sure this area is on the cutting edge. She says, explains about the Munsies. She's worldwide, there have been more than 88 million Munsie captures. So there are definitely people playing the game, but it hasn't really been utilized in the tourism industry yet. So we're trying to get in on it before a lot of other tourism entities do. Oh, wow. That's forward thinking, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
She continues, while geocaches are often outside towns and villages and can be difficult to get to, Munsies are generally located inside communities, usually on the outside of a business. That means that the activity is good for people with mobility issues who find geocaching too taxing.
That's unless you go Munsieing with some of the listeners of our show who put Munsies out in the middle of a trail in the middle of the woods. So that, the 5 people who are hiking with them scan them and then it never gets scanned again.
Nothing wrong with that. Everybody Munsies in their own way.
There you go.
She continues, the GCCS, that's the Gold Country Community Society, if you've forgotten. They approached the village of Cache Creek for assistance in getting Munsies in place for their geocaching event being held over the Labor Day weekend. That's Labor with a U because it's in Canada. That ends in Cache Creek on September 5th, and village staff will assist in creating a Munsie trail by helping to scout out locations and placing the Munsie stickers or tags in advance of the event. These Munsies can only be active for the duration of the event, and they hope that some of the locations can be kept active afterwards and become a permanent fixture that would provide another activity within Cache Creek. Terry notes that Munsies can be a way to bring people to local businesses and says it would be nice if some businesses could offer prizes for the people who capture the most Munsies. The village of Cache Creek will be one of the first places to launch this, she says, and we want to catch this train before it really takes off. So, she says, while the Cache Creek Munsies will not be active until September 5th, there are a couple already in Ashcroft that people might like to try to find. And after this announcement, I bet other viewers go up there and place even more. That's just my...
I bet. It happens.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. And it seems to be the season of Geocoin challenges, and there's another Geo Tour launching July 15th through the 17th. It's called the Filmed in Spokane Geo Tour. They're going to publish 30 new caches based on our rich film history here in the Spokane area. Now, are you aware of the rich film history of the Spokane area?
I would be if I did this Geo Tour.
Yes. As an added bonus, there's going to have lab caches that are active, get this, for 1 year.
Wow.
How cool is that, right?
That's insane.
Registration, hotel blocks, group rates, and movie ticket sales are all open now, so go look at the details. And of course, there will be a Geocoin for all the finishers. So see you in July. Now, there are 60 movies that have been filmed in Spokane, and they have a pretty rich movie history dating back to the 1900s.
Okay, Whitson, name them all.
Some of the more famous ones. I'm not going to name them all, just the more famous. Vision Quest in 95, Benny and June in 93, Endgame in 2006, The Cutter 2005, Home of the Brave 2006, The Grub Stake from 1923. Yeah, I don't know that one either. And Z Nation, which is a TV show from 2014 to the present.
Okay.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. And, I was just thinking about it as you're telling us about this newest Geo Tour. And it's like every corner of Washington State now has a annual Geocoin event going on. That's really neat.
I just heard of another one in Battleground, Washington. I want to say it's this weekend.
Where's Battleground?
just above Portland.
Yeah, south here.
Okay, so yeah, you've every four corners.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. All right, well, hey, talking about of the four corners and maybe three cities and four corners, let's talk a little bit about today's topic, the Tri-Cities Geocoin Challenge. And our guest tonight is a key organizer, the key organizer perhaps, of this annual event, but nodding of the head. But before we Before we get into the event, Jen, maybe our listeners are wondering who you are, how you got involved in geocaching, and how you're involved in the Tri-Cities Geocoin Challenge.
Oh, I think this is probably the hardest question to answer about myself. Originally from California. About probably 15, 20 years ago, I heard about geocaching. I had no clue what it was. I didn't understand what the heck they were talking about. GPS, what's a GPS? We didn't have smartphones back then, so I never did it. I'm like, okay, whatever, you go find containers. Have fun. Then we moved up here in 2007, I believe, and started working for Richland Parks and Rec. And I heard about geocaching again. Okay, take me to one of these things that are hidden somewhere. And so one of my coworkers took me up the hill. We had one, gosh, probably less than 200 feet, and opened it, and it was a nice sized container with all kinds of toys, and my daughter was about 7, 8 at the time, and I thought she would love this, and we got hooked. So, of course, got involved in the community, and geocachers were so friendly and outgoing that I got more involved. And then they knew I worked for the city of Richland for the Parks and Rec department, and they wanted to have a coin challenge. So we met together, got some information, and I presented it at the Parks and Rec Commission meeting. And they loved the idea. So in 2010, it started. Small, and today here we are at making event status. So originally I'm from California, throughout California, and I have a daughter that just graduated from high school. So a little about myself.
Nice, thanks, Jen. Now, I know Land Monkey was able to attend the challenge last year, and I think he's fully rehydrated now.
Oh my gosh, yes, it was bad last year. I think we were only supposed to be in the 90s, so hopefully, keep our fingers crossed, because we could deal with that if we dealt with 115 last year.
Exactly.
Whew.
Now, Jen, you said it started in 2010. Were you involved back in 2010 as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
I've been trying to pass the buck off to somebody else to take it over, but no one seems to want to take on this task. So I'm still, without the volunteers, I couldn't do it. So I would say the volunteers, huge credit to all of them, because without them, this event would not happen. So yes, I was involved at the very beginning. In the beginning, we only had, the first event, we maybe had 70, 80 people, and only Richland was the main, we were the only ones involved. And throughout the years, the other cities joined us, and I know Tri-Cities, but I know now we have 4 cities, and that messed everybody up. But
you
mentioned Tri-Cities.
You mentioned the volunteers. That's always the lifeblood of any geocaching event that I've been a part of. How many volunteers do you currently have for this event? Do you need more volunteers? Can we?
We're always looking for volunteers. Yeah, we're always looking for volunteers. I think we're at about 30 or so. We're all getting a little burnout. So yes, if there's people in the area that want to join this crazy group, and yes, it is a crazy group, we would love to have you.
Nice. Well, Jen, we talked about the event, but we didn't really talk about where the Tri-Cities are. You mentioned a little bit that there's actually 4 cities now involved in the Tri-City Geocoin Challenge. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Sure. So we have Richland, Kennewick, Pasco, and West Richland. So we're in the east side of the state, down towards the bottom. Tri-City is actually a great place. We have 300 days of sunshine. So for all you people from the west side, come on over, because you'll get some sun and some warmth. And vitamin D is always great. There's a lot to do here in Tri-Cities. It's definitely an outdoor city. I mean, we have the 3 rivers here. People are always out in the boats, kayaks, paddleboarding. We have over 20 miles of bike trails. So if you enjoy bike riding, bring your bike. Great place. You can ride around the 20 plus miles of trails are along the rivers. So that's awesome. We have golf courses. If your significant other doesn't geocache, you can always send them to wineries. We have, I think, 50 plus is it 50 plus wineries within? No, 200 wineries within a 50-mile radius around here.
Wow.
And then plus we have several different golf courses. So there's a lot to do, especially if they enjoy being outside. We have Badger Mountain they can hike. So
There's an earth cache on Badger Mountain.
there is. We have several earth caches here in Tri-Cities. Yes, there is one up there.
Actually, I was going to say for any of our listeners from British Columbia or this area up here who haven't been down to Tri-Cities but are kind of curious what the area is like, from my experience, it's a lot like Kamloops, the Thompson Okanagan area. It's very much like that. It feels a little bit like your high desert kind of terrain. It's got the rivers that come through that keeps everything nice and green and temperate. It's a beautiful area. Really enjoyed our time there.
It really is a beautiful area. I lived out there for a couple of years myself and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. So I love the outdoors, so it's definitely a great place to be.
Well, it sounds like there's no end to the things to do there, but if somebody wants to come and participate in this challenge, this event, what do they need to do to prepare? What do they need to bring other than apparently a wine goblet to go tour the wineries when they're done geocaching? Should they plan to stay overnight, maybe? Bring in special meals, special equipment? I don't know. Sunscreen?
Yes. Yeah, sunscreen. Water, lots of water.
Lots of water.
Yep, staying in a hotel would be great. We also have camping out at the event. And there's a few other areas. If you have an RV or trailer and want to have all the hookups, there is Hood Park, which is across the Snake River, very close to where the event's at. Gas, or money. Yeah, money for gas, since you'll be driving around all 4 cities. Also, you're coming to the state park, so remember your Discovery Pass. But if you don't have that, if that's not up to date, you'll be able to purchase one there. Either you can do the day pass, or you can purchase the year pass. And then if you want us to download all the geocaches onto your GPS unit, remember to bring your cable for that. It makes it easier. We have some, but it makes it easier if you have your cable, easier to plug in the computer to get everything downloaded. So, yeah, there's a little bit for you.
There you go. That's great. Now, we've talked a little bit about the event. We talked about the area, but what we really want to know are about the caches. How many caches are going to be placed for this year's event? And can you give us any special teasers? What kind of caches that we might be looking for?
Well, okay, so we have 32 caches. We're placing 8 in each of the cities. You will have to find, 28 of the 32, just 28. We've changed things up a little bit because the geocaching app, if you just have the free one and you don't have the premium membership, you don't get everything. So we've changed up the numbers a little bit so everybody can get them. So you'll get 20 if you can find 28 of just the regular caches. We have them all as 0.5 so everybody can see them. Or if you do have the premium membership, you can get 26 of the caches and 1 of the multis. So Richland has 1 multi, and I believe West Richland has a multi as well. Containers. I honestly have left most of the containers up to the volunteers in the other 3 cities. I've worked on the ones here for Richland. Let's see. Hints. What kind of hint? Which one? I can't give that away. That's a hard one for me. You'll find some of the similar ones from the past if you've been to the event. They blend in nice with the environment. So if you think about the kind of environment here, you blend in. Still working on one still for Richland that should be a pretty cool one, and hopefully a nice size one. I don't know. I can't give it away. I can tell you this for the lab caches. So we're having lab caches as well, and they'll go live at 10 o'clock on Thursday morning. Then we have a kickoff for lab caches that evening. Some of the lab caches, we're working with Goblin Dust.
Mm-hmm.
Goblin Dust gave us a few for the lab caches. Also, Mr. Gadget. Anybody knows Mr. Gadget's caches? We have a couple there as well. Plus, so for the lab caches, we'll take you around to a few of the different cities.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. One of the things that we found out about when we came out there last year, Mrs. Land Monkey and I down to the event, had a fantastic time. Thank you very much. Was the night cache that you do the night before the event starts. Are you going to be doing that again this year?
Yes, we are doing a letterbox.
Oh,
so
okay.
that'll be different.
Yeah, it's a little different.
A lot of fun. It's not going to be easy as it's been in the past. So you're not going to just be able to go to the final stage and find it. You're definitely going to have to go through all the locations to be able to find the final location. So actually, I haven't even done that one. I have a couple volunteers are working on that as well. So I'm excited to do that one.
Very cool. All right. Well, and of course, one of the things everybody is eager to hear and or see is the coin. So, is there anything you can, any sneak previews or any descriptions you can give us about the coin? How many there are? Who designed it? What kind of teasers can you give people who are interested in coming?
Well, I can show it to you if you would like.
I saw a video on it just today.
Chris Mackey is the one who designed it for us. He did an amazing job. I think he's just excited as we are with it, the way it all turned out. So we have the base coin. See if you can see it here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mysteries of the Mid-Columbia. And on the back side are all of our main sponsors for the event. We have that, and then if you see the little edges up there on the top, we have 4 coins. Each one represents the 4 different cities. And let me put this all together for you.
Some assembly required.
There's assembly required. Sorry, it's not the easiest task here.
No problem. Like I said, I saw a video of it today, and I was just blown away.
So there you have it.
Nice.
Oh, neat.
Very unique. And so then you can see how there's all those circles right there. So once you have all the coins, you'll use those circles there to be able to find the bonus cache. So Chris's whole concept was like the Goonies, the coin that they have, the Goonies. So we'll take that, and people will go to a certain location and be able to make their way to the bonus.
All right.
That is so neat.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Acquire headpiece, staff of raw.
I don't know what we're going to do next year. Everybody wondered how we were going to
Top last year's.
Last year's coin was so cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that looks really cool. I'm excited to try to get over and do that one. So, once you've found the caches you need for the coin and the mystery bonus cache and all that, people cache at different rates. 30, you said 28, I think it was.
Yes.
For the land monkeys, that takes them on average about 20 minutes. For me, it takes about 2 weeks. But let's suppose that we finish all those and we have more time. Are there other geocaches in or near the event that people can find outside of these?
Yeah, there are a few near the event, but there's also, Tri-Cities has hundreds of geocaches. So you could be at one cache and there could be one 200 feet away from you. So definitely if people are up for wanting some numbers, they'll be able to get their numbers in that day, for sure.
Great.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Hey, Jen, if someone's interested in coming down to the event and, if they don't live in the Tri-Cities area, so they're going to be making the trek out there, where could they find some more information on the challenge event itself, and where could they maybe find information on accommodations?
So the GC is GC60EZ6. Go there, or they can go to tricitiesgeocoin.com. Or we have a Facebook page, and it's called Tri-Cities Geocoin. So any of those 3 places. If you like us on Facebook, we're posting information about the event. But either one will point them in the right direction.
All right. Well, I know I'm going to try to make it over there. Can you remind us, everybody, the dates of the event again so we get it all right?
So Thursday, the 23rd, is the Lab Cache kickoff event. On Friday, the 24th, is the meet and greet. Saturday, the 25th, is the main event, and then on Sunday we have a CETO.
All right.
That's
This month. This month
That's
coming.
this month. Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
that's next weekend.
All right. So.
Week from today, it all begins.
Well, that sounds. It's right on top of us. So if you're listening to this live, get out there. Well, next weekend and find it. If you're missed this after the fact, let's say you're behind in your podcast feed and you're listening to this and it's, well, now it's July and you think, oh no, I missed the event. Can somebody come along and earn the Geocoin at a later date if they missed the live event next weekend?
If we have coins left, of course. So this year we purchased an additional 50 coins, so we purchased 450 sets. Last year we had 400, and I want to say within about a month or so after the event, the coins were gone. So I don't know what this year brings. We're almost at 600 RSVPs for the event, so we should, but that's family, so I think we're at about 280 something. We should have enough at least to get you through the next couple months. So you can always contact us. You can contact us through geocaching.com or on the Facebook page, and we can let you know how many coins we have left. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's incredible, Jen. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us tonight. I mean, next weekend, Tri-Cities is the place to be.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is the place to be.
So thanks again. Now, gentlemen, Jen has already told us where to go to find out more information about the Tri-Cities Geocoin Challenge, but LandMonkey, if for some reason, if our listeners wanted to find out more about you, where would they head to?
Well, they can head to landmonkey.blogspot.ca for our website. And, of course, always follow us Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. We're at LandMonkeyGC. And Facebook, Team LandMonkey, and of course, YouTube, LandMonkey. And in fact, if you search through our YouTube, you may even find video from last year's Tri-City Geocoin event that we were at. So, including, I think we had a little bit of Lookout Lisa, and I can't remember, Jen, if we had a little bit of you on the video or not.
Last year, yeah, yep.
Yeah, awesome. And we're looking forward to seeing you again this year when we come down.
You are making it?
Mrs. LandMonkey and I will be making it. Yes, we will.
Awesome.
One of the highlights of our summer this year.
I'm so excited.
Wits End, how about you, buddy? Where can people find you?
Well, right here on the podcast. That's about it. No. I'm Wits End on most social media, Facebook, Geocaching, LO, Twitter, all those things. Start with a website at witsend.us and points you to wherever you need to go. Mr. Comic of the Bad, where can they find you?
Well, Caching NW. You can find that on Twitter, Facebook, Google+. Just look for Caching NW. And if you want to find out where you can find the hosts, head on over to cachingnw.com/hosts, and there's all the information we just told you about.
Wow.
I guess we don't really need to do this segment anymore. All we have to do is just tell people go to cachingnw.com/hosts. It's all there, right?
Yeah, it is.
The little bios on all of us and everything.
Wow. Feels so official.
DNA samples. It's all there. Police records.
Totally unofficial. Yeah. All right. Well, Jen, thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's been a blast seeing you again, and we're really looking forward to the event.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoy being a part of this.
Anytime, and we're looking forward to talking to you at some point after the event and seeing how it went.
Sounds good. Come find me. I'll be running around initially, but you could always find me. I'll say a few words.
Awesome. And hey, listeners, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. And remember that you can always be a part of the show by calling 253-693-TFTC and leaving us a comment, asking us a question, or sending us some electrolytes to recharge for that caching adventure. All right, and of course you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Also, your support helps to keep quality shows coming. If you like this show, please click the Patreon link on the cashingnw.com website. This show is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2016 by Chris Umfenauer.
Good night, folks. Thanks for listening.
See y'all.
Good night.
And we are clear of the recording.
Yet still live.
Yet still live. We've got some questions in the Q&A that I wanted to get to. They want to know, Brylang wants to know, will the event be renamed to the Tetra Cities now that there are 4 cities involved?
That's a great idea. No changes as of yet.
Oh, let's see.
I don't know. Tetra Cities just doesn't roll off the tongue like
No, it
Tri-Cities
really doesn't.
does.
Not even the Quad Cities. It doesn't seem the same.
That could just be confusing. People would think it's just, somewhere in the backwoods where you take your quad.
Exactly.
Some new place, unknown by all.
Oh, Brylang says to play the sound effect because we forgot. Now it's time for
The after show.
There you go.
Now it's official.
Yeah, now it's official. Die Monkey says there's also the Great Washington Heritage Geo-Adventure, which covers all areas of Washington State. Started on June 1st and goes through October 3rd.
That'd be interesting. We should get a link on that and maybe talk about that in an upcoming show.
Exactly. Die Monkey, if you're still listening, would you send us a GC code on that? And we'll at least mention it here, if not make it a topic.
Yeah. That's really cool. We should find out who's organizing that, see if they'll come on the show and talk about it.
And Wet Coaster wants to hide Munsies and cedar bushes just for you, Land Monkey.
I think that would be payback. That's funny. Hey, speaking of Wet Coaster, I believe this month he is Munsie's Player of the Month.
Really?
Wow.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I think I just saw that on Google Plus earlier.
That's like an official title and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Good for him. Well deserved. Well deserved.
We knew him way back when.
Yeah.
When he was just a Munsie player.
Hey, Jen, I was curious to ask you a question. We recently had Tom Wenzel from Mount Vernon and their Geocoin challenge, and he was talking about how how they at Mount Vernon had heard about the whole concept of a Geocoin challenge at an event that they went to for different outdoor rec coordinators. Was it you guys that they were talking to? Is that? Yes,
I did the presentation. Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering if it was when he's talking about, oh yeah, this really energetic person who was talking about this. I don't think he's ever said that it was you, Jen, but I kind of thought it's got to be Jen.
Yep, it was. Gosh, I don't even know how many years ago that was. 5, maybe? Somewhere around there. Yeah,
well, they're on their 3rd year, so yeah.
So yeah, that was probably about right. It was at the Parks and Recreation, the Washington State Parks and Rec Conference. The yearly conference. It was in Seattle. I believe it was in Seattle. Yeah.
So it's kind of your Geocoin challenge child.
Yes, it is. Yes. That's probably too why I don't cash as much as I used to, because by the time the event's over, I'm burnt out. You know? When I go down to Mexico, I'll cash just because I feel like I want to get another one, in another country. But yeah. Yeah.
No, I completely understand. The Tri-Cities, of course, is a mega event, is it not?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And has been for several years, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 2 years, 3 years? Yeah. They gave it to us, and then the next year they took it away. And then we finally got it again for the next 2 years. It's okay.
Geocaching.com giveth and geocaching.com taketh away.
Exactly. They're great, though. I enjoy working with them. They're a lot of fun.
They are.
Well, too, we're going to have Signal's going to be there as well again this year.
Oh, nice.
So, Signal just came in the mail yesterday, so excited.
They mail Signal to you.
Yeah,
they mail Signal in a huge crate. Yes.
It's like Flat Stanley.
Yeah.
Yes.
As long as there's holes in the crate.
Flat Stanley.
He's dehydrated. Just add water.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like everything else in Richland.
Like everything else in that soil will grow stuff if you just add water.
Yeah, just add water and keep adding water, especially when it gets to be over 100.
One of my favorite Tri-City Geocoin Challenge stories from last year. We were on Badger Mountain. That was when we actually didn't know there was an earth cache there, believe it or not, and we left heading on and then realized after the fact. Well, because we had only loaded the event caches because we knew there's such a huge cache density that if we loaded other caches on the GPSR at the same time, we'd never get anywhere.
Yep, you're right.
Like just one more. Yeah. But when I'm pretty sure it was when we were up there, but we were just walking back to our truck, and there was a young group of cachers who were hopping back in their car, and they're like, oh, hey, and they're chatting, just super briefly chatting, and they said, hey, we've got a whole bunch of super cold water. You guys want some water? And we're like, well, yeah, sure. I mean, we had some in the truck, but it wasn't cold, so like, sure. So I thought, that's really cool, and I thought that just typifies sort of the geocaching community, right? Like everybody's just so friendly and so willing to help everybody else out, and especially for something that's is called a Geocoin challenge, air quotes challenge, but it's such a friendly event. It's really not competitive at all.
No, exactly. We were at Tumbleweed Pirates, and I were at a meeting out at Sacagawea tonight, and we talked about the event and everything, and one of the volunteers came over and he wanted to learn more about geocaching. So we told him about the event, and he's like, gosh, it just sounds like something I would like to do, but I don't know anything. And so we told him to come to the meet and greet, and we said just that everybody is so willing to help out and teach you what you need to know to get involved. I said maybe you might even find someone that you can carpool with. So we're going to actually on Friday at the meet and greet have a little area if there are people that want to carpool together, that they'll be able to chat with one another and exchange information so they can do that. So I'm really hoping this gentleman comes out because he had that little sparkle in his eye like, okay, I think this is something I might like. So, in regards to the earth caches, make sure you load the earth caches because I can tell you there is one of the caches in Richland that is very near earth cache. So, there you go.
Well, I've got a different pocket query this year. I'm going to have what I call the special caches, as well as the event caches. So, earth caches. There's the virtual that we couldn't do last year because the boat was missing. So I saw the boat's back, the hydrofoil.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is one back, yeah.
The virtual cache. So we're going to be able to do that one this year, which is good.
Awesome.
Nice.
And Wits End, you said you're coming out?
I think I have other plans that weekend, oddly enough. I would like to come, but the bad cop has me committed somewhere else.
Okay.
My daughter's getting married next week.
Yeah, and I'm the photographer.
Oh, is it next week already?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I didn't realize it was coming up that fast.
Yes. My house is full of wedding decorations. I had no idea it took this much stuff to put on a 2-hour event.
We'll excuse you this year.
Okay.
Next year, different story.
I'm all over it. I mean, okay. I really like the Tri-Cities. I have friends that are still there, because, once you're in the Tri-Cities, it's hard to leave. No.
I visited him there. I think we went to Roy's Western Smorgy over there.
Yes, we did. Is Roy still open?
I've never heard of it. Where is it?
Is it in Richland? Yes, it is in Richland.
Where? I don't know. I haven't been to it, but that doesn't mean it.
It's right off a freeway exit, but I can't tell you which one. I can see it in my mind, but that doesn't help for a map.
It's okay. Bryling will Google it soon.
Okay. Yeah, Roy's Western Smorgy. Wow, I hadn't thought of that in years, and now barbecue. No. Wet Coaster says he's only player of the week, not the month.
Wow, he's player of the year in our hearts.
Give him a chance.
That's right.
He'll get up to player of the month and year. IHAM says the caches that you have are most likely brown, so they'll blend in.
Yes, correct. Brown, gray, green. Yeah, there's a few green there.
Earth tones.
Earth tones for sure.
And Brightline came back with the web address for the Washington History Geo Adventure. That is www.washingtonhistory.org/geoadventure. So it's being organized by the Washington State Historical Society to celebrate their 125th anniversary.
Nice.
Cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it is. There's just so many things going on, each week here during June, July, August, that it's hard to keep up, to be honest with you.
And we have a response from Roy's Western Smorgy in the Q&A.
Claims this business at 2602 North Columbia Center Boulevard, Richland, Washington. It's closed now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Closed now for the evening or closed now permanently? Probably
I
permanently.
don't know. No, it's not Roy's Appliance Services or Roy's Garage. It's the Western Smorgy.
So close, though.
It's just such an odd name. It sticks with you. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're done talking about food. We're here to talk about geocaching.
Well, there are lots of great places to eat in the Tri-Cities anyways, that's for sure. I know we enjoyed it down there.
Yeah. We'll have some food vendors out there this year at the event as well.
Did I read that you're going to have food trucks?
Yep, we will. We'll have Kendra's Walk, Between the Buns, which is a hot dog truck, the Glass Onion, variety of burgers and I think veggies, and then we will have called We Ice. It's kind of a combination. We needed them out there last year, but they're going to join us this year. It's like a snow cone and an ice cream. I don't know. I can't explain it, but they're delicious. Absolutely delicious. And then, of course, we'll have Cash Advance there again in WSGA, but they don't serve food.
Fantastic.
And then I think we just convinced the Kendra's Walk, even though Oriental food, I think they're going to be serving breakfast as well.
Oh, interesting.
So they said they would let me know by Monday or Tuesday of next week, so I can get that information out. We may have.
Very cool.
And they're right at Sacagawea?
Yes, they will all be there at Sacagawea.
Nice.
That's a beautiful park, too.
Mm-hmm.
It is. The trees are wonderful. The shade's wonderful.
Oh, the shade from the trees. Yeah, that's fantastic. And just that slight breeze that comes through because you're just off the river. Yeah, no, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Is there still camping available at Sacagawea, or is it booked?
There's still camping. I mean, it's just a grassy area. But yes, if people are interested, there's a link on the event page that they can click on and get registered.
Cool.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, only because Gary Slinkard put it up there. Gas prices forced Roy's Western Smorgy to close. This was in June 18th, 2008. Rising gas prices will force the popular restaurant Roy's Western Smorgy to close its doors for good. Okay, we're done. We're done with Roy. Okay, no more Roy.
Oh, because the barbecues were gas-fired. Okay, I was trying to figure out how those two things were connected. Now I get it. All right.
So there you go. Well, thanks so much for joining us, guys. We're going to sign off tonight, and we will see you same bat time, same bat channel next week. Good night now.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Night.